Worst service you've received at a restaurant. CJK 813 says, I'll start. I was 11 or 12 eating lunch at the egg platter with my grandpa.
Cute.
Our waitress was really old but seemed friendly and was quick about getting us refills and putting in our orders. I ordered a double-decker club sandwich and we had our food within 15 minutes of walking in.
Whoa.
That's sounds
incredible.
like good service.
But also a double-decker's a sandwich. Should have been faster.
Yeah, it should have been.
It's also
2
a
minutes.
bus.
So far, so good. Until she brought my sandwich out, at least. I could see her carrying it over from across the room, and my chubby little eyes lit up. When she got to our table, though, she did the unthinkable. She explained to me that this was a very large sandwich and that I needed to grip it firmly so that it didn't fall apart.
It's a double-decker, man. Yes, you do.
She then demonstrated by picking up my sandwich with her bare hands and taking a bite, then putting it back on my plate.
If I was 11 or 12, there's only one thing that I'd be okay with this, is if she was hot.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you.
But we don't know that. All we know is that this lady took a bite out of this freaking 11-year-old sandwich. She's got to have been hungry or on her last day. Or about to quit. Something like that.
Yeah, that was weird. And also, how big of a bite? Are we talking like a nibble or...
Any sort of bite, not okay.
Again, if she was hot, took a nibble, totally fine with it.
She was hungry. The Jank says, reading this story has reminded me of an old story that I haven't told anyone in forever. This happened when my social group was 16 to 17 and I'm 37 now. To celebrate our freedom, we like to drive outside the city to see the hill country and dine at the small town local places. We heard of a little French-type bistro an hour away and made the trip. Turned out there was only 12.5 tables, and although we had no reservation, we got seated as only 3 or 4 other tables were occupied. Our waitress came out and got the drink orders, returned with the drinks, and took our meal order. We got our breadsticks, then another batch 15 minutes later.
All right.
Then the waitress comes out to pick up all the baskets and cleaned up the little plates, then returned with the bill.
What?
We laughed a bit, said a mistake was made. We hadn't even eaten yet. She argued that we did, that she even just cleaned up our plates and silverware. We argued about it. She went and got the manager, who came out to confront us about trying to get out of paying our bill. Nobody was sitting near us, and when asked, they said they really weren't paying attention to us. But we started getting ugly looks like we did eat and refused to pay.
Aren't there like cameras?
This is so strange.
It's only been maybe 20 minutes. You don't get a meal that quick.
Can't we just go talk to the cooks? If they took their order, then presumably the cooks made it. Just ask the cooks.
Oh, here we go. May I speak with your manager?
They're already talking to the manager.
Sorry.
He gave us the ultimatum to pay up now or the police would be involved. We said we're not paying for food we haven't received. Police officers arrive and hear both sides of the story. The manager and waitress were going off how we were lying. Well, my friend then stood up and said he's got this handled. He asked the waitress what he ordered.
Oh, here we go.
That was my next thing. I was like, can't you just be like, okay, then what did I order?
Yeah, tell me. If I ate it. She picks up the bill, flips it, and told him. It was a baked pasta dish with sausage. He confirmed that's what he ordered. He asked the manager if the chef wants to come out and confirmed he cooked it. Turns out the manager was also the cook and said he cooked it.
Oh no, not looking good.
He asked her if she really did bring it out and serve it. She said yes. He asked if she threw away food from the plates she picked up. She said no, they were all cleaned up as we ate all the food. He asked the officer, he's like, officer. He's got a little pipe. Officer, did we order this food? I would like you to prove that we ordered this food. Were there any food particles on the plates? No, sir. No, sir.
I have another way to like know if you've eaten the food or not too.
What?
Oh, really? I haven't?
What do you see?
He asked the officer if he would please step outside for a minute and he'll prove they are lying. Less than 5 minutes later, the cop walks back in, said to the rest of us at the table, we're free to go, and told the manager and waitress they made a mistake. They tried to object, and the cop bluntly told them that the only thing the kid threw up was breadsticks.
Did I just call that?
I'm gonna be honest, that feels like some sort of violation of rights.
Is it a war crime?
If they want to go out by the bushes and check for themselves, they were welcome to. Everyone in our group had our eyes wide open, and the manager and waitress were equally stunned to reply. We didn't argue. We got the heck up and left and hit the first drive-thru on the way home, as Craig was twice as hungry as the rest of us since he didn't get to digest his breadsticks. I would be pressing charges against the manager and the waitress.
Really?
They're trying to gaslight us into thinking that we were going to pay for food that never arrived.
But
this is some
that's
sort
just
of
gaslighting.
scheme.
I don't understand how there weren't like any like security cameras or anything. Like they couldn't have just been like,
Yeah.
check the security because we never got anything.
Savannah, they called the cops over this. Do you think these people also have security cameras?
I feel like every place has cameras.
I feel like usually they have it outside, not necessarily always inside.
Yeah, Belton says he shouldn't have had to do that, but what a baller move.
Truly, he's like, police officer, step outside with me. I've got all the proof you need. Empty breadsticks in there.
Oh, he was right.
Jellybus says can't really arrest people for gaslighting, unfortunately, and I'm not sure exactly what the crime is since they sent them on their way now. So just never go there again and tell everybody. Yeah, you know what? If you can't get the police involved, Yelp reviews by the thousands.
1-star reviews at a time.
July Johnson says, friends were visiting me in Europe and I wanted to make a good impression. So I took them to a beautiful lakefront grill. I was the only one who spoke the language, French, so I made an effort to be jovial and witty with the waitress in order to show off as much as possible. From the get-go, the waitress was super combative. There was no way she was going to be okay with our presence. We ordered simply, I translated, and she refused to understand. And I'm talking, I'll have the number 2 level French. There's no way she didn't understand. She was just making trouble.
Do the classic point finger on a menu then.
Oui. My friends don't understand and so aren't getting why the waitress is upset. 2 to 3 minutes of the waitress wailing on about how we aren't making sense. And I finally growl, it's not that difficult. And I smacked the table. Unfortunately, the table was a light metal, and the mighty clang that rang out was not in any way representative of the force I put into it. But that's exactly what the waitress wanted. She cries, I won't put up with this, and runs off to her manager, and I can see her waving her arms and screaming about us.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Is a piece of work. I tell my friends, red-faced, that we may have to go elsewhere. I then calmly get up and approach the manager and waitress and say in French that I'm sorry, but I've never been treated so badly by a waitress who clearly just wants a fight, and that we'll be going.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. In French?
In French?
Oui.
The manager looks at me and says, you speak English? Already nerves rattled. I respond, I can speak French. He says, but you speak English. I can't tell what he's getting at, but I'm thinking it's leading to a French Anglophone insult. He says, now in English, I'm going to speak to you in English. The waitress is still standing next to us, and I'm really ready for it now. She's crazy, the manager says.
That's why.
That's so funny. He's like, she doesn't speak English. I'm not joking. Like, really crazy. The waitress doesn't blink, and I realize he switched to English because she doesn't understand a word. But I can't fire her because she's family. So please let me serve you personally, and I'll make sure everything gets better.
No.
That is super funny. He's like, please, do you speak English? Please. Please. I need to tell someone. I hate her so much. Please.
She's just like a weird cousin, and we can't get rid of her.
She's my sister's daughter's daughter. Oh no, she's my sister's son's wife.
Twice removed.
Can't do anything about this.
Immensely relieved, I sit back down and relate the story to my friends while out of the corner of my eye, I can see the manager yelling at the waitress. The meal goes amazingly. The manager comes by every few minutes and apologizes superfluously, too much even. He ends by saying, she is really, how do you say in English? Knucklehead? Is that a change?
Yeah, I don't know what he actually said.
We don't know what he actually said because we can't say it.
I think wiener.
A wiener head?
I could look it up.
I don't know.
Uh,
Can you call a woman this? I didn't impress my friends, but faith in often dodgy European restaurant service was somewhat restored. And that is the end of that story. What a tale.
that was cute. I like the part where we understood the waitress.
Where we found out that she was crazy. I like that too.
Yeah.
What was your rose and thorn of that story?
I mean, I think that was really funny. That it just made me think I wish I knew every language so that I could like understand everyone at all times.
Yeah.
That's why I just downloaded a new app.
Duolingo.
It's called
Don't tell me. Yeah. Wait. Oh.
So this one is only for Spanish. I don't even know what it's called. But basically they take like how CIA agents learn new languages. They use those strategies.
And you become part of the CIA.
Yes.
Really quick question before we get into the next story. If you had to choose between becoming conversational in every language but like just like truly basics, you are fluent in one language, which one? Like one extra.
I would say conversational because I feel like most people speak conversational.
Yeah.
And then like if you really get into it, you could be like, oh, what?
I feel like I'd want to know Spanish in depth.
Well, there you go.
But that's the only one you would know.
I'm asking everyone in the chat.
Yeah, what did you guys want?
Sneaky Imp says, after a concert, me and my friends went to Steak and Shake.
Yum.
I've never been there.
Really good.
Now it's like 2:30 a.m. and there's a total of like 3 places open this late at night in this town. Well, let's just say a lot of other people at the concert had the same idea. So there we are, us and an absolutely standing room only Steak and Shake.
Dude, and they take forever.
Do they?
Yeah, I've never been to one
I
that
don't know what
doesn't
a
take
Steak
like
and
25
Shake
minutes.
It's 25 minutes. It's like, oh, what's that one burger place you like?
Or Shake Shack.
It's like that.
But is it steaks?
No.
No, it's burgers.
Okay, so there is like so Steak and Shake. It is like Shake Shack. There's burgers, but they also do like serve like fries and like, you know, little like weird steaks. The ones that like not like fancy like ribeyes or whatever. Probably like a weird flank steak or something. That's like $2.
All right then.
But the milkshake's amazing. Burgers,
I want a milkshake tonight.
after magic.
Yeah, we're all like super
Milkshakes
fancy.
after magic.
Milkshakes.
That could be a band
after
name.
magic.
I really could.
Well, on shift that night, we're only one waitress and a cook.
Oh,
So we were not
no.
expecting fast service at all, which was fine. Whatever. We're still having a good time. The waitress was just sitting on her cell phone and we had no idea why instead of serving the customers.
She's on her break, guys.
Well, the waitress all of a sudden runs out the door, jumps in a car, and leaves. Turns out that she had just told the cook she quit.
Oh my gosh.
Well, then. So there he was, the only one with about 100 people in the restaurant cooking and serving all of the food. Gave
Aw.
that man a dang good tip for a $10 meal. Also, some other people stepped up and helped refill drinks and stuff. May have been a little wasted and feeling helpful. Really, it was just her that was terrible.
You can't just do that.
Just dipped. I mean, like, really considerate of the whole restaurant to kind of seemingly chip in.
That is nice. It was a vibe. That guy was like, all right.
It's like, all right, you're all working now. And you also still have to pay.
That would be a moment that combines humanity together.
Yeah.
This is
everyone's
no
just
longer
get on the grill.
Us and versus the restaurant. It's us in the restaurant together
Yeah.
feeling this moment.
Regular IT dude says there are 2 restaurants in Chicago that gives insulting service as a gimmick.
Yep.
It's very amusing to take people there who are unaware.
Dick's Island.
What?
There's one in Tennessee and it's called Dick's Resort.
Strange.
Yeah. And they just,
Insult you?
yeah.
Yeah, you get like hats.
They'd give you a hat that says like, I blew bubbles. Your hat would say bubbles.
So I would like blow Sophia.
That's just an example of what that would be.
Okay, well, Riley can't work there.
I know, I'm bad at being mean to people. I get it. I'm working on it.
The best was when the 4 of us were seated. The unsuspecting did not receive a fork in his roll of silverware. When he politely asked the server for a fork, he got a, yeah, I'll get you a fork, along with a stink eye. He was mid-conversation with us about why he got that vicious stare down when the server came back and dumped an entire bucket of forks all over the table and into his lap. Here's your effing fork, a-hole. So this guy doesn't know what's going on.
He is unaware.
I guess you can say it was good service. He wouldn't, though. When did he find out? How long did it take him?
I feel like you're just in the bad mood the rest of the dinner.
Why is this a thing?
People like to embarrass their friends. They'd be like, oh my God, so funny, blah, blah. I would take everything to heart and be like, okay, is that how everyone sees me or what?
She gave me all those forks.
I'd be writing and crying in my journal.
It does switch it up because everyone's like always like polite at your every.
Yeah.
I don't imagine those people, whoever they know is paying, they know that they're going to cater to make fun of whoever, not that person who's paying.
Unless they want to be made fun of.
So people like to be stepped and spit on.
That's true.
Ew, it is true. Ew.
We get a goth one, $1 million idea right there.
A goth one?
Maybe Bluff says, I went to Applebee's with my ex-boyfriend to use a $50 gift card I got for Christmas.
Classic Christmas gift.
The total of our meal ended up being $25, so I left a $5 tip and we left. A week later, we decided to go to Applebee's again and use the rest of the gift card, which should have had $20 left on it. Well, it turns out that the waitress we had the first time changed the receipt and gave herself a $25 tip. Draining the rest of the money on my gift card. That's pretty wild.
Also, most people forget about their gift cards from
Yeah,
Applebee's.
they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. But she went in like a week later, so I'd be like, huh?
That's crazy.
I just assume like after I use it the first time, it's done.
Yeah, honestly.
I went to a Starbucks and I was like, oh yeah, I have like $6 left. It was 4 cents. And he was like, yeah, so that had 4 cents on it. I'm like, that makes complete sense, honestly.
I complained, and I honestly never complain at restaurants. And the manager gave me a $20 gift certificate, but didn't do anything about the waitress. Reply says, something similar happened to my husband. He got his hair cut at Sports Clip and tipped the hairdresser $5. Used a debit card. A week later, he's checking his bank account and sees it's $100 short of what he was expecting. The hairdresser had somehow given herself a $100 tip from his card.
Oh.
I know my husband has very sloppy handwriting, but a $100 tip? Really? He went back to the Sports Clips, spoke with the manager, and not only did they give him his money back, they also gave him a coupon for 5 free haircuts. And we've got another story, but
5 is so many.
Sports Clips.
yeah, it's Sports Clip.
My father is a barber.
Yes.
I understand when you need to go and get a Sports Clips haircut. Nothing against that. I'm going to judge it because I like a good haircut because I know what that is. Imagine... Oh, you don't have to because you are. Imagine you're Italian.
Okay.
Imagine you're Italian. Have you thought about the Italian?
And you go and you eat a good pizza and you know what a good pizza is your whole life. And then one day someone was like, let's eat a Little Caesars pizza.
Wait, that actually happened to me. And I was so pissed. I said, what?
Yeah, that's how I view haircuts at Sports Clip.
Yeah, they went to my track team went to my town to go compete, whatever. And there's so many good pizza places in my town. Are you freaking kidding me? They got Pizza Hut. I said, this is like, I think you should get in trouble for this. Like, you should be going to jail, actually.
I hate going to, there's just so many great pizza places that are still cheap too. Pizza's on average not typically that expensive. And sometimes people will be like, let's go to Domino's instead of this nice pizza place that costs the same.
The kids I babysat love Domino's.
I hate, that's why for the longest time, I don't know, I would always say I didn't like pizza because I just don't like
Bad pizza.
bad pizza.
I love pizza at Domino's. Sue me.
I am going to sue you.
I have my standards in some other places.
And that's okay. I just don't want to eat it.
As a Slavic woman, I love a good pizza.
Kron's Monkey says, my girlfriend and I went to a restaurant we used to frequent and were told it was a 30-minute wait because we hadn't made a reservation. Not a big deal at all. It's in an area with tons of foot traffic, so this was to be expected. A couple minutes after we were seated, a family with several strollers was seated next to us.
Yay, babies.
There wasn't room for the strollers and there was plenty of room on the other side, so we offered to move our table over a few feet, to the genuine appreciation of both the family and the restaurant management. But then we ordered our food. The appetizer was very good, but spicy. On a normal day, I drank an enormous amount of water, but with the spicy appetizer, my glass was empty within minutes. It took our server about 20 minutes to refill it the first time.
I hate that.
Yeah, I love when a server is just they notice your well, sometimes it goes overboard, but they notice your cup's halfway. Come over. Sometimes I won't even have had a sip and it's just overflowing. It's too much water now.
Water pitcher on the table.
I love a water pitcher on let me decide my own water needs.
I also love that.
I ordered a pizza and my girlfriend ordered a pasta. Hers came out first with the promise that mine would be out shortly. Apparently they had burned it the first time around, so they were going to remake it.
Oh my gosh.
Again, not a huge deal, although I'm starting to get thirsty again. Did you ask for water? Because you can also do that. About 10 minutes later, I see what looks to be my pizza coming out, only to have the runner walk right by my table and bring it to another group that had been seated about 30 minutes after us.
No.
I was just hoping that this meant that their order had been put in before mine was sent to be remade and that mine would be next. Another 15 or 20 minutes pass and we're starting to get worried. I've tried to get our server's attention multiple times, both for my pizza and my glass of water that has been empty for 30 minutes, but she keeps blowing right by us. We were right near the kitchen, so she has to pass us to flirt with the guys a few tables down who had received what appeared to be my remade pizza.
Dude, look, she knows who's going to tip well.
I would have gotten up at that point. I would have blocked her way.
I know girls that would flirt with guys who have a boyfriend, leave their number on the receipt so they could get a tip.
Dang.
And they usually get $40, $50 tip.
My mom was a waitress, and she would play the game. She would have people request her when she would come.
Dang.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, can we have Lisa?"
Can't blame her.
And she would also pay the bus boys, so they can get all of her stuff off, so then she can get people in quick.
See, but I'm just going to be real. I get where this is happening. She's going to where all the guys are. Of course. On her stuff. Flirting. Great. If you tip more than 20%, your girlfriend's going to be mad and be like, why did you do that? She has to put more energy into your table than theirs.
Finally, a manager comes by to ask how our meal is going. I explain the situation, and he immediately calls her over. She argues with me and claims that the pizza was sent out 30 minutes ago. And I point to the table where she's been flirting for the last 20 minutes to point out that she sent it over there. She gets rude and defensive, and the manager sides with us, has her make a new one ASAP, and also has her leave a pitcher of water at our table since he sees she cannot be trusted to serve us.
Oh, no.
He apologized profusely and has her send us a free dessert once our meal is finally finished. Unfortunately, the dessert she brought was one of the most disgusting things we've ever tasted.
Ew.
It was apparently supposed to be some Italian take on a White Russian, but it just tasted and looked like vodka-flavored jazz in a highball glass. At the end of the meal, the manager had our server come over to us and give us her name and a comment form in order to give her boss a list of everything she screwed up on, as well as to personally tell us that we should not tip her a dime.
Oh my God.
Half our meal was comped, and we also received a voucher for a future visit, but we still haven't been back since.
Whoa.
Dang, that manager really was trying to, damage control that situation.
That was crazy. I watched a clip recently about a guy who owns a restaurant and the way that he would get more people to come back. Because it's not about getting people in the door the first time. It's about getting them in the door after 3 times. And he explained a strategy to keep people coming back.
What was it?
So what they would do first is they would get, if you're a first time person, they'd put a red napkin on. So they knew to give you like special care. So the manager would go up, introduce himself. What are you guys getting tonight? Oh, how was your meal? Great. Come back for this steak, 50% off. Steak's like $8. He's losing $4. Goes out. They come back, have the blue napkin. Know that their second time. Manager talks. Oh, how was your meal? Come back for our chicken, 50% off. Chicken's $4, loses $2. Come back a third time. Hey, come back a fourth time for a free dessert. And then they come back a fourth time. And after the fourth time, they're going to come all the time. And then the manager knows them by that time. And they're like talking.
That's pretty smart.
Very smart.
It did feel like the setup to a joke.
To get a new customer through the doors, most restaurants spend about $1,200 to keep them reoccurring, while he just spent in like advertisements, things like that, newspaper articles, while he spends $8-10.
Deleted says, my parents stopped to get some fast food on a long car trip down to the beach. I ordered a hamburger and always at these places, given my hatred of American cheese, requested it to be cheeseless. Also, as is usual, they managed to screw this part up. No big deal. My mom politely hands the burger back. The cashier turns around trying to conceal her actions with her body. Took the burger out of the wrapper and scraped the patty against the edge of the counter. Ew! To remove the cheese.
I can't. Nope. Mm-mm.
She then tried to hand it back to my mom like nothing happened.
Stuff like this that people don't see happens. I don't even know how many times.
One time I was at a Japanese restaurant with like a sushi place with my family.
Yeah.
No joke. We waited 2 hours for our food.
What'd you order?
Just sushi.
That's it?
Yeah, we had a couple different sushi rolls, and we had asked, we didn't just wait there, not asking questions. We asked every 20 minutes. We're like, hey, we haven't gotten our food.
I might wait 45 minutes now if my food doesn't come.
Well, the problem, I think, and this happened in high school, so I don't fully remember it, but I think the reason that we had stayed is because we started getting some food.
Oh.
But to get all of the food, it did take, I think, around 1.5 hours to 2 hours, something like that.
Yeah, that's why I cook at home.
I would just leave. I'd be like, all right, well, whatever, I'm done here.
Bye. Yeah, but then
But
you're
I get
waiting
it.
for the friggin'
They're breadcrumbing you.
just give us all our food.
One sushi piece at a time.
Give us all our food or give us the check. Rossi Magic says, I was out drinking with an old school friend, a huge, menacing, belligerent rugby player. We'd had a skinful, What does that mean?
This dude's like Australian or something.
Ew, it sounds gross.
Had a skinful is mainly British and Irish informal idiom meaning to consume a large amount of alcohol and become very drunk.
Oh, well, there you go. And he talked me into getting a burger with him. I order a burger, which they manage fairly. He orders a chicken burger. They give him a really puzzled look when he ordered and asked him to repeat his request. A chicken burger! A chicken burger! I don't know if he's British or Australian, but I made him vaguely somewhere in the middle. A chicken burger, sir? He thrusts a sausage-sized finger up at the chicken on the brightly lit board, points at a fried fillet of chicken. Chicken! He roared before thrusting his finger down directly at and penetrating into the bun of my own burger. Burger! Ah, chicken burger. Okay, sir.
I think he's Irish and no one can understand him.
Yeah, wait, okay, I'll try again. A chicken burger? 10 minutes went by. My friend is pacing back and forth, still perplexed. What comes out of the kitchen left us dumbfounded. He snatched it up, took a bite, and spat out a huge chicken drumstick. Upon lifting the lid, he soon found out they had wedged a bun full of fried drumsticks.
No. Are you guys idiots?
Is it not on the menu? I'm confused.
I would like that, actually.
You would like a burger full of chicken drumsticks?
Yeah, why not?
Because it has bones in it.
Pick it up and just...
No.
It has bones in it.
I loved you. Oh, wow. I see where you're coming at now. You can't hold on to it. The bones are on the inside of it.
What?
Your burger would fall apart. The bottom would fall.
I wasn't thinking about the bottom. Sometimes I don't want to eat the bottom.
Well, there you go.
We almost got it there.
He practically shook with fury. Steam rose from his ears. He picked out each drumstick and threw it at the kitchen staff, shouting C word each time he launched one. I think he is Australian. He took either end of the bun and went wax off along the countertop and lurched out into the night. I think he may have overreacted.
He was really drunk.
They just had a skinful. I was trying to mouth an apology, but I had no words. He was pacing about outside, still seething, and I was able to calm him down momentarily. But then, after deciding he hadn't made enough of a fuss over the issue, he got up, picked up the sandwich board sign outside of their shop, and threw it over a nearby fence into a canal and stalked off into the night.
What? He was a belligerent rugby player, mind you.
Haven't seen him since. Yeah, I would not want to be friends with this guy. This guy seems really intense.
I had a run-in with a friend like that once playing basketball. He got really aggressive, and I was like, dude, we cannot hang out anymore. This is too much.
It's just like, why make it such a big deal? Like, be like, oh, oops.
The chicken burger was weird.
Yeah, but not weird enough to throw a sign into a canal.
Yeah, that sign probably cost a lot of money.
Alcoholic says, was at a restaurant well known in the Baltimore area for their crab cakes.
Oh, yeah. Baltimore's crab cakes, yeah.
A bit long, but there were quite a few incidents during this meal. Our party of 4 arrived on a Tuesday evening around 8:30 p.m. We actually called ahead and only had to wait a few minutes for a table. My wife and I were treating some friends who had arrived from the Philippines for the best crab cake in town.
Oh, no. Incoming Keon.
Wait, he actually just walked in the room.
Did you hear us?
I knew if we said the word Filipino.
Keon, I have to explain what just happened. I said, so we're treating some friends who had arrived from the Philippines. Riley goes, oh, incoming Keon, and then you walked in. You heard us.
No.
Why aren't you shocked then?
Isn't that crazy?
I only shocked myself.
And everything in this room shocks him as well.
All right, we're reading.
Unfortunately, we got caught up with Attila the socially inept server's tractor beam. First, we sit down and no, we are getting crab cakes. Our friends who are not used to U.S. portion sizes are discussing splitting a 2 crab cake platter as our waitress arrives at the table. She immediately makes a comment to them about how you can split it, but it's better for everyone to get their own and not split the sides.
They aren't used to our portions.
Fishing for a higher check, not a big deal, so we move on. Next, she comes back to take our dinner and drink order. Our friends order the double crab cake to split, which is met with a slight eye roll. First friend orders a Chianti. Chianti.
Who?
A Chianti.
Me?
Yes. First friend orders a Chianti because she's never had it and wants to try it. I explain to her what type of wine it is prior to her ordering. Attila asks if she knows what a Chianti is and tells her that she should get a good wine, not the Chianti. Friend orders it anyway. You like a Chianti?
Yeah, Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is it a white wine?
No.
It's a red wine.
Red wine, guy.
I don't know anything about Chianti.
I don't know anything about wine.
It's good. Friend orders it anyway, partly out of spite and partly because she still wants to try it. Until it gets to me and I ask what the chef's dressing is like. She responds with, how do I explain a dressing? I don't know, lady. You freaking work here and see and presumably taste it. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, saying that she was rough around the edges, but trying to be helpful. Later, out comes the salads. Since our friends are splitting a double crab cake platter, they only got one salad. Attila tries to put it in the middle of the two of them. They're sitting on one side of the table, and in the process, rocks and spills some of the wonderful Chianti. Her response, oops, I was trying to put it in between and your fork was in the way.
What? That's so weird. Why are you playing this game?
So strange. No apology or acknowledgement that it was her fault. Luckily, the wine only spilled on the table and Attila's sleeve. Dinner comes around and amazingly goes off without a hitch. Crab cakes were fabulous, sides were tasty, and portions were satisfying. Attila even brings out another plate and splits the crab cake platter up for us. After dinner was when it took a turn for the worse. Once my plate was picked up, Attila seemed to be anxious to clear the rest of our table and hovered around.
Oh no.
One of our friends was done eating but had some left on her plate. The other was picking at the plate. Without asking, Attila proceeds to pick up the plate and empty the comments onto the plate of the one that was picking.
Oh my
Who does
gosh.
that? I don't want the crumbs on my plate.
Why is she mean girling these girls?
So strange. My wife had some left over and asked for a box. Instead of asking for my wife's plate to pack the box, she brings a box to the table, wedges uncomfortably between my wife and I so that we are about a 25-degree angle as she starts filling the box and clears the plate, of course. This is so strange. She just starts filling the box next to you? I thought she was just going to leave the box, which is pretty normal, but this is not normal.
Accidentally run into her at one point in your life?
Yeah, what did
what's
you
happening?
do to her?
Yeah.
The deal breaker was when she brought out the check for people, but she tacked on an 18% gratuity. She also was once again hovering. We begin discussing splitting the bill while she stands there, and she snatches the bill out of our friend's hand and says, I'll split it up for you. Our friend snatches it back and says that she's just gonna put it all on one card. Attila hurriedly ran back to run the car. While she's gone, I tell my friend not to tip additionally since it was already added. Attila brings back the credit card slips without the itemized receipt showing the pre-added tip coincidentally. She once again hovers as her friend signs without additional tip. Attila rolls her eyes once again as we give her the signed receipt and request another copy of the itemized one. Reply, you should not have tipped at all.
That was weird.
Well, you would tell us about the email, people.
Oh, so this is my business, and I'm glad Keon's here.
Emo? Wow, this is like Filipinos, emo, Chianti. What else is next?
So since people like being stepped on, spit on, being made fun of, all that stuff at restaurants, I was thinking, you know Dick's Last Resort?
Huh?
The place where you go and they're like really...
They're really rude to you. Like, you have to sign a waiver and everything, and like they just start insulting. Yeah.
Imagine that, but staffed with goth chicks.
Profit.
Bunch of people would go there all the time.
I mean, and then they should have a therapy center right next to it. But yeah,
I like that.
I could see something.
out of business now.
But imagine that, but like with a
Emo.
goth... Yeah, emo. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Deleted says, one night whilst wasted.
That's a good tongue twister.
One night whilst wasted.
One night whilst wasted, one night whilst wasted, one night whilst wasted, one night whilst wasted.
One night whilst wasted, I sat in the outside dining area of a cafe. I didn't get any service for over 15 minutes. Turns out the place was closed for the night. Reply says, I want to party with you.
Are you sure? He's probably going to show up to a party that isn't happening.
OP, that's a you thing. That wasn't like bad service. That was just you.
Yeah, you get really bad service at places when you go and they're closed.
There was no one there. Husband Fart says,
Huh?
There's a restaurant I love for brunch that has the best gosh dang French toast in the entire world. I'll never go back though due to the crappy butt service. 3 separate occasions we waited 15 plus minutes for menus and water. And the one time I complained to the owner about the slow service, her response was, I kid you not, perfection takes time.
Ew!
My ice water does not require 30 minutes to perfect douche waffle, and brunch should not take 3 gosh dang hours.
Well, if you're really brunching, maybe this is a skill issue on your part.
Yeah, maybe get better at brunching.
And honestly, if the French toast is the best in the world, shut up and wait.
But I'm not waiting 30 minutes for water.
But I'm not waiting 30 minutes for water. That is true. But also, the best French toast in the world is Blue Jam Cafe French toast sticks.
I really love Blue Jam. They used to have truly just like delicious house potatoes, and they changed their recipe.
Yeah, they stopped doing the house potatoes the same way, and they stopped making their own ketchup.
Yeah, it was really sad.
The worst service we've ever had is dancing sa. It's like just part of the deal. It's like, yeah, you have to fight for their attention.
You have to order everything off the menu first, and then water. Good luck.
Dude, when we were there, we went with like a group. It was Dakota. It was there as well. My boyfriend had like, he had written down, he was like, yeah, we should order this. And then Dakota was like, no, we're going to order a 55 burger, 55 shit. He orders like 6 of everything.
You know why? I wasn't there.
No, we ordered the right amount of food.
We did not order the
did.
right
We
amount
were
of
le-
food.
We were
were
left.
full halfway
no,
through.
Let's finish the story, because there was one little cup of leftovers that we snuck out of there, and then when we
you
went
dropped
to
it
like
on your
the
girlfriend.
place next door that was like a photo, they had like photo booths or
I
whatever.
still have the pictures of this.
I somehow smacked the like sriracha shrimp squid out of my hand, and it got all over her white shoes and stained them. And there is photo evidence of that exact sequence of events happening.
Yeah, because it's like a photo of 6 and it's a video. So I have video footage of us being like,
Yeah, it's yeah.
My worst service, I think I've told you this. It was on St. Patrick's Day. I have two of them.
classic.
I had, after like going to the bars, we had a reservation for a nice like fusion restaurant that's like in Culver City, maybe a little bit like outside of Culver City. That St. Patrick's Day, obviously I'm wearing green, but I also had like a green top hat, like nothing crazy. Not like I'm just wearing a giant green top hat that everybody loved. Like,
Yeah, of course.
my server was like, that's insensitive, bro.
To who?
I went, oh, to who?
To Leprechaun?
That's when I said, like, to the Irish people. He's like, yeah, dude, that's messed up. It's like wearing like a sombrero, like on like Cinco de Mayo. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And then he's like, I can't serve you. And we had a different server, and I went, what is going on?
I cannot in good conscience serve you due to the Irish.
He wasn't even white.
Honestly, I think it's more racist to assume that all Irish people identify as leprechauns.
But also, it's a top hat. It was a giant top hat that you never seen like a leprechaun.
Yeah, dude, he just had a crush on you.
No, I
didn't
think
know
he had
how
a
to deal
bad
with it.
day, but he took it out on me, and I was like, I'm never coming back here.
But the only one that's actually coming to mind for me was I was at a Texas Roadhouse, and I'm there with like my family eating dinner, and our waitress comes over, and we had like all these plates that we were done with. And the waitress comes over and you're like, yeah, can we get some of these plates out of the way? And she goes, yeah. No, your busser will be over here later. That's the busser's job. We were just like,
That's just weird.
and you know, I'm sure there's worse, but like,
That was
it was
so
just a very,
mild.
That was
yeah,
mild.
it was just a
I thought
very
you were gonna
like,
say something
oh,
worse.
I had another one where we went to go see the Barbie movie, and then after we went to go get like brunch because we watched it like a day matinee. I wasn't ordering anything, and it was Drew making fun of me. He's like, oh, he's not ordering anything. He just like, you know what? He's just like, Keon's like trying to bulk up or like bulk down, and like our server like came back and he's like, yeah, he does look pretty overweight. Like serious tone of like to me saying like, yeah, he looks pretty overweight.
yeah, he looks a little big.
Whoa, we're not friends. We don't know you.
Actual bad service, but I'm a man on the inside. I was working as a busser technically, but I was already doing like, I was opening up the restaurant in the morning, and there was a guy who came in, and the day before I had taken his order. He came back in again the next day. Same thing. I was like, same thing as yesterday. He goes, yeah. I was like, hell yeah. He's a guy. He had a little bit of money, so I was like, cool. I'm like establishing a regular. My manager saw me take the order because he wasn't in the morning before. He comes over to me and goes, what are you doing? He's like, you're not a server. You're a busser. You can't take people's order. I was like, I literally, everyone in the morning's order yesterday because I was the only one here. And I remembered his order. And he goes, no. I'm going to take his order. He does his order again, gets his order wrong. The guy then turns to me. He's like, dude, what happened? This isn't what I wanted. Doesn't leave a tip, leaves his food, just leaves. And so I was the bad service, but it was really my stupid manager. I hate you, Randolph.
Tough. You weren't like, dude, I know.
I couldn't explain all that to him.
Oh, so Jay Diva says, Blue Moon Diner, Charlottesville, Virginia. A group of 4 of us went in and the waitress took our orders. 30 minutes go by, no food. No visit from the waitress. 15 more minutes go by and the waitress comes back to tell me that they have run out of the dish that I ordered. So if I wouldn't mind looking at the menu again, they could make me a substitute. I really wanted to ask why it took 45 minutes for them to figure out that they didn't have the dish that I ordered. But having been sitting here for 45 minutes already at that point, I had plenty of time to mull over the menu. So I gave her a substitute order right away. After an additional half an hour with no food and no further visits from the waitress, we just said F it, told the staff that we had waited long enough, and went to Taco Bell.
Heck yeah.
It doesn't end there. No. We found out later that the wait staff were telling people that we skipped out on our bill. Impossible, as we never had a single bit of food put in front of us. Ay, ay, ay. This is just like the story earlier.
You skipped out on your bill for your invisible food.
Yes, the food we never received. We also didn't pay for.
This is, what is it, pan? No, it's hook.
Yeah, you have to imagine your food and then it appears.
If a table orders food and it never comes out to be eaten, does it require a bill?
It was
the
cooked.
tree falls in a forest. Stewie, he says, not really terrible, but it really upset me. I was with 2 friends at a restaurant in Rutland, Vermont. We had a decent meal, and when the check came, they paid me their share in cash. And I put the total, a bit over $100, on my card. There was about $10 on the table while we were figuring out who owed what, when the server came over, picked it up, and said, guys, tipping starts at 15% and goes up from there. Did you not know that? I took the money out of his hands and explained I was putting his tip on the card. It didn't upset me at first, but it grated on me over the next few minutes. In the end, he cost himself a generous tip for his D-bagness. He got his few bucks, but would have gotten considerably more had he not been a total D-bag. And reply, there's only one way to answer that. Not anymore, it doesn't. That's true. Gotta be nice. Niceness goes both ways. Infarious X says, me and my girlfriend at the time were the only 2 people in a Denny's one night. Wow.
Wow, Dennis.
The cook made the completely wrong thing for my order. We knew this before we even got our food because I could overhear the waitress tell the cook he made the wrong thing. The cook mumbles something, then the waitress brings it over anyway and pretends like she didn't realize it wasn't what I ordered, even though I clearly heard her say that she was aware of this fact seconds ago. I said, I'm sorry, but this isn't what I ordered, and I overheard you say you knew as much over there. Waitress gives me a very dirty look and puts in what I originally wanted. For the rest of the night, she was very scarce on coming around to our table. You're the only people there. What else is she doing?
She just doesn't like you.
She's sitting at another table.
She's doing the crossword.
Took forever to get drink refills, our check, etc. And like I said, we were the only 2 there. So it's not like she got too busy. Reply says, hate on the chef, not the waitress. Same thing happened to me being the waitress. And the chef basically ordered me to hand it out. I was quite shy back then, so I didn't want to confront him about it. Felt even worse when the guy told me it was wrong and made me feel like an idiot. This is just like what happened to you, Dakota.
This is always what happens to me.
Try to look at things from a different perspective, just to make it clear the waitress in the story wasn't me. Never been to a Denny's before. And OP says, I consider this a possibility, but if that was the case, she would have seemed apologetic and eager to please in other ways. Instead, we got the stink eye and crap service for the rest of the night.
Classic.
Classic Denny's.
Classic. I'm remembering another time we got bad service. Keon was there. It was like that dinner we went to in Hollywood. It was like a new place that had opened up. And it's not that the service was bad, but it's like a new place. It's kind of like basically a soft open. All of the wait staff there is like, the aesthetic of the place is kind of like upscale, but everyone's vibe is like so casual and like they haven't worked a waiting job in like ever.
Ever. My favorite thing was like, hey, what do you recommend? She was like, I don't know, because like the menu's always changing. So
yeah,
I can give you 0 recommendations, but like it's all good.
So we order all this food. It's exceptionally mid. We have, stuff's taking a while. We have to like tell them, hey, bring this, where's that. At the end of our meal, the manager comes over and he's like, hey guys, I gave you a little something. He brought us out like a free dessert or whatever, like a free little square of tiramisu. He did us the generous gift of knocking 5% off our bill. The table of like 10 people. Just knocked a clean 5 off the top.
Just a couple.
My favorite
bucks.
is when like, I got you. We'll get it, and they give you a dessert. It's like a birthday dessert too, especially. And this has happened to me a couple times, and then they like, yeah, we got you. They charge you for the dessert.
Dang.
Like,
Happy birthday. Give us more money.
That's messed up.
that's how they'd get you.
One time when I was in college, there was this one, we had a lot of like restaurants on campus because UCSD is so large. So it wasn't like dining hall food. This was an actual restaurant on campus. It was like a ramen restaurant. And I went with one of my friends and I ordered the vegetarian ramen. No joke. It was a big restaurant, but there was only one other person in there. Only one other person in there. The food takes a while. It takes like, I don't know. It takes a while. And it finally comes out and I start like eating my food. And like maybe a minute in, I realized that there is, or I don't know, no, maybe not a minute in. After a while, I realized that there is meat in it because it was like pretty small.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, like this is like a meat broth that they've just served me. And I didn't realize until after. I call them over and, well, no, wait, I call them over and I'm like, hi. Is this I think this is the meat, like a meat ramen. And the waitress was like, no, like I told them specifically, like, no, that's the vegetarian. I'm like, this looks like meat. And she's like, I'll go ask, but that's the vegetarian ramen. I'm like, okay. So she leaves and comes back and she's like, so the person over there got yours. And I'm like, okay. And she comes out with like a free dessert. But I'm like, how do you mix up only other person in the room? There's one other person in the room.
I smelled the broth. The broth smelled like it was made of vegetables.
And she tried to gaslight me too.
Try to say, no, you're not even vegetarian.
But anyway, that was my bad story. Bertonkin 23 says, Valentine's Day, my former SO and I went out to a restaurant called Armand's. We were the only people there, which should have been my first red flag. Our waitress sits us down and takes our order, then goes back to the bar where she was chatting with the bartender. In the 50 plus minutes it magically took to make a Caesar salad and a grilled chicken Alfredo, our waitress got smashed. She brings the food and lo and behold, I have no chicken in my dish. In your chicken Alfredo? I call the waitress over and she is angry. I am blocking her from hooking up with the bartender. And I explain there is no chicken in my dish.
So yeah, when we say she got smashed,
Yeah, did you mean like smash?
Or like
Or like
smash.
like a lot of people came in, or like
1v1.
she grabs the plate and walks it to the kitchen, then returns 30 seconds later with my same dish of pasta and a chicken on the side. The chicken looked like it had sat in the corner of the grill all day with how charred it was. Needless to say, we left without touching either of our dishes and ordered Lou Malnati's.
oh yeah, you gotta go down to Lou's.
Lou's, I've never heard of that place.
Yeah, if you want to get a good bite, you go down to Lou Malnati's.
Lou Malnati's will have what you need.
Wait.
The Lou Malnati's.
The Illuminati's?
Matt is a loser. Says, this isn't the worst, just the creepiest encounter I can remember. At a Waffle House near my apartment for breakfast on a Sunday morning with my girlfriend.
Don't you dare let me catch you besmirching the Waffle House employees.
I think they're about to besmirch.
Listen, every time you go to Waffle House, I've never been, but I know it's going to be food, dinner, breakfast, whatever, and a show.
And entertainment. I've also never been to a Waffle House.
always a good time at the Waffle House.
We order our food and our drinks are on the table and all is well. 8 minutes after ordering our food, the waitress comes over and just stands at the end of the table. She doesn't say a word. 30 seconds go by without a word and just awkward glares from my girlfriend and I to each other. The waitress finally says something about the grill area smelling bad because the cook burnt something and said she'd rather stand near us. She does some more random weird things where she just hovers, or after hearing me say I would like a refill, just stares at me blankly. The creeps, man. At the end, I go to pay, and another lady does the actual cashiering, while our waitress stands behind her, peeking over her shoulder. I had left $3.50 on the table, as was adequate, and disregarded the creepiness. The cashier asked if I wanted to leave my server a tip. I said I did. She replies with a look of desperation, "You should probably leave more. She's an awful good waitress," while our waitress stared blankly at me. So, okay, now I feel like that was read like, "You should probably read more. She's an awfully good waitress.
The knife is just getting higher and higher behind.
Please leave more. Please." I gave her another $1 and never returned. The waitress had nothing obviously wrong with her and looked otherwise normal, just weird. Reply, troll waitstaff successfully got a higher tip. Yeah, that is creepy. That is pretty creepy.
Yeah, I would have given her like a map with an X on it. All the money you'll ever need.
Yeah, I think you gotta match that energy and say, I'm I'm just gonna stand near you and give you a wizard's quest.
I'd be like, I have 100 pounds of scrap copper in my car I can give to your waitress. Does she want it? I have 100 pounds of scrap copper in my car. Does your waitress want that?
I have 3,000.
Mothers.
Stacy says, my boyfriend and I went to this Asian fusion restaurant in our neighborhood on a whim one day after work. The 15 minutes it took us to get seated when the restaurant wasn't even half full should have been the first indicator. But we're finally seated on the outside patio and proceed to order a couple of sushi rolls and some noodle dish. We have to request water, listen to loud waitress gossip, and watch as they wander around from table to table, hollering to everyone, "Who ordered this? Please tell us.
Did you order? Who ordered this?
Who ordered that?
Did you order this?
I don't
Look at
remember."
Does this look like what you ordered? Look at it.
All while waiting for our 3 measly dishes. The noodle dish finally comes out 45 minutes later and is lukewarm and tastes like crap. So we cancel our sushi rolls and peace out. How that restaurant is still in business, I'll never know. I don't know. Sometimes restaurants are just like, somehow they just stay.
Maybe you caught him on a bad day. I'm actually looking up now how much 100 pounds of scrap copper costs.
Geepster Love says, I went to Olive Garden and they were giving out samples of wine. I took a sample of the white they were offering and went to my table. When the waiter came, he didn't see the little bit of white wine still in the glass and picked it up to take it away. In the process of picking up the glass, he spilled the remainder of the wine all over my brand new leather jacket. He got totally flustered, grabbed a towel, tried to clean up the wine, but in his hurry, he dropped the wine glass and it shattered on our table, setting bits of glass into my lap. After cleaning that whole mess up, we ordered. You stayed? Wow. A little while later, he brought our meals to the table. I had ordered some kind of Italian dish because it's Olive Garden. And as he's placing the plate in front of me, his thumb slipped on a drop of olive oil on the side of the plate, and the entire plate lands face down on the table, half the food going into my lap.
That's just what happens at Olive Garden when
That's
you're here,
just
your
what
family.
happens. Yes. And family drops pasta onto each other's laps.
Family puts food in your lap.
He was so embarrassed at this point that he just ran out of the room and a different server came over to clean up his mess. I was annoyed with his mistakes, but I honestly felt so bad for the guy that I still left a pretty decent tip. So maybe that's the other hack. Just do so bad that people feel bad for you.
It loops all the way back around and it becomes like what's the thing with the Patience Nightingale, where it's like you fall in love with the nurse who's taking care of you, or it's the nurse falling in love with her patients. So never mind, I've got that backwards.
Reply, it was probably his first day or something. I bet. Yeah. But that is the end of the worst service stories you've ever heard. And if you have some bad service stories, put them down in the comments below, please.
Yeah, let us know the worst time that you ever had at an Applebee's.
Or the craziest experience at a Denny's.
Or just the fun stories that you've had at Chili's.
That works too. But
Welcome to Chili's.
But that's the end of those stories and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.
Hey, don't leave yet. I know you got more chores and we got more stories. So stick around.
I'm banning my sister-in-law from my future wedding because she disrespected me.
Oh, the in-laws and their joys.
So I want to make something clear from the start. I'm not even engaged yet, so nothing I'm saying right now is set in stone. So there's a very real chance something could change when we do. But right now, this is how I feel, and I have been told I'm being an a-hole. By the way, this comes from your girl Cal03, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. My partner, 22 male, and I, 22 female, have been talking about getting married. We've been together for almost 4 years, and he keeps teasing about how he's got this huge plan. We have been planning it kinda to the point where I know where I want to get my dress from, the color scheme, and generally what I want from the day. For the most part, it's going to be a very non-traditional wedding from what both of us have agreed. Not very big, some traditional things, but we'd rather spend more money on the honeymoon than the wedding. Anyways, my one big request with our list of family and friends coming is I don't want to invite anyone who doesn't support us or who has caused us any kind of trouble/trauma throughout a relationship. Yeah, ban all the drama, people. You want your wedding to be a freaking vibe.
Fair, dude. Why would you want anyone who's like a drama source in your life at a celebration of your relationship?
Unless you want your wedding to be remembered for that drama.
Yes.
Which is, sometimes something Fun.
That would be a bold move to be like, I want my wedding to
Yeah.
be full of drama.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Dragon Princess and Neville Hogbottom. I love you.
My mother isn't invited due to being no contact, and there's a few others who are kind of in a hot list for maybe not being invited because they might cause drama. So, in comes sister-in-law. She's 26. We'll call her Sarah. Sarah's always been rude to me from the very beginning. She made it clear she didn't like me for a long time. I thought I was being crazy style for thinking so because I grew up being told I was overdramatic. So I never really brought up that I felt that way to anyone because I thought it was just because she kind of has an aggressive personality. Bro was a nurse and a waitlist professionally. Dang. But after dinner with my parents, family, and our second year together, we went back to his dad's house. I was talking about getting one of those low-income bag credit card loans because even now, the only way I'd be able to afford a car anytime soon is I don't have family members who can help out with it. Well, my partner's dad respectfully and nicely tried to tell me that was a bad idea. She full-on freaked out on me, yelling about how I can't do such a stupid thing and I'd ruin my partner's life more than I already have, and how dare I think about bringing him down into my debt with me. Again, we had only been dating 2 years and even now have no plans to join our bank accounts when we got married.
That's weird. That's like
Yeah.
a weird reaction.
Sisters
to
being
that.
weird. That's a little weird.
That's quite a strange response.
My man had my back and got really mad at her and told her to stop being a jerk, which, yeah, that's a jerky thing to do. Later, Sarah texted both of us separately, her trying to make an excuse about her behavior to me, and to him saying she doesn't know me. That's why she's hesitant about me. Almost 4 years in, and she still hasn't made an attempt to get to know me. And while she did kind of stop being straight up about not liking me, it was only in front of him she acted nice. She'd wait till he left the table, sometimes grill me about my life decisions, and talk down to me and just continue to be mean for literally no reason.
Dude, that's a classic Dio move right there.
Now, for context, my partner and I moved out together in late 2021. We had a sketchy situation with our first roommates and ended up finding our own place just for us. When that happened, I also lost my job as an assistant manager, and the job market in Alberta is a crap show to say the least. So while I've been working every job I can get, none of them have lasted for one reason or another. None, however, are because I'm a bad worker, and I can say that confidently because I was the only one who showed up, stayed late, came early for every job, no matter what state I was in. Mentally, physically, I always showed up and did my best. But to Sarah, she sees that as me being a deadbeat girlfriend, despite not knowing any of the story or seeing any of the bajillion resumes I sent out on the daily.
She just wants to be you.
She wants your
Low
boyfriend,
key.
dude. She
I don't
wants your
know. That's
boyfriend.
weird.
I feel like she's trying to steal you.
It's kind of strange.
Anyways, now I understand that she's worried about her brother, but she didn't like me even before we moved out together. And lately she's gotten ballsier again about making it known she does not like me. Fast forward to Christmas, my partner and his mom went on a trip to visit her because she lives out of province. And he comes back to tell me she full on told him she doesn't like me, but didn't give him a reason as to why she doesn't like me.
Yeah, but the reason would be because she's full-on Cersei Lannister, dude.
Oh, ew.
I mean,
Grody
where do these
McNody.
complexes come from where it's like you don't even know your brother's partner or your sibling's partner, and then it's like they're like the scum of the earth and they're the worst and they don't deserve them and they can't have them.
It's
like,
probably, it could just also be like an attention thing. She thinks like she's gonna get less attention from her brother because the brother's in a relationship.
you guys aren't 12. You guys are like adults. Of course, you're gonna get less attention from
Some
your brother.
adults still
he has
act
a
like they're
wife and a
12.
family. Like that's what he's
Some
going
adults
towards.
still act like they're 12. Then the other night we had a late Christmas dinner because she was in town, and at the table while I was having a conversation with him and his cousin about something, she apparently made a passive aggressive comment. I didn't hear it because I was talking to his cousin when she said it, and my man flipped out on her. Ooh, there we go. Man, go flip.
Let's go. Let's go. We love
A man who flips.
that.
He walked away from the table, and I looked at his cousin, utterly confused, only to look over at his sister and to see her back was fully facing me. So I got up and went to ask what the heckle just happened. The conversation was about something we lost. My man did, lol. And apparently she said, well, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day in school. John, you've been dancing a lot.
I'm going to give you a live demonstration and you're going to see it too.
Show me those hips. Oh, damn. That is a good move. But you know what is also an amazing move?
What is that, Sam?
Becoming an OK Storytime member.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Well, let's get back to the story.
Oh, what? Wait, what? What just happened? What was that?
Basically, they
Who's in
lost
school?
something, and she was like, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day with school. So like saying like you should go look for it. And I thought it was fairly innocent when he told me compared to some of the other things she said to me, but he said it was her tone that made it something she didn't need to say. So back to the whole wedding invite list. Longer story short, I don't want to invite her because she sucks. I have been working a lot on my boundaries. And again, I don't want anyone there who will cause drama or hasn't supported us in the past / been a douche canoe in any sense. But I fear when I brought that up, my partner wasn't exactly thrilled and thinks I'm being a bit harsh since we could be on good terms when we get married. My problem is I'm not interested in reaching out because I didn't do anything to her to warrant such bizarre behavior, and she's too egotistical to apologize or even realize she's been a jerk our whole relationship. So am I the a-hole for not wanting her at our wedding? There are some comments. There is some updates. What do we think, Dakota?
First of all, she's not so oblivious that she doesn't realize she's been being an a-hole. She knows exactly what she's been doing.
She's doing it on purpose.
She's been actively, consciously choosing to be this way to you.
Yeah.
And it is more than evident by the way that she switches up whenever certain people are around versus when she's alone with you. You do not need this creature at your wedding.
This is Doug says, protect your peace. Your wedding should be your most peaceful, joyous moment. And to have a sister that's a dummy to just corrupt that, no.
Why would the sister even want to go to the wedding? You don't like me. You don't like me. Why do you want to be here?
But comment one, I think it's crazy to be planning this far out. You don't even have a ring. Lots can happen in a couple of years, and it sounds like you might be that far out. That's true. It is.
Wait, there's no
early.
Engagement? There's no nothing yet?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, don't even
but
worry
having
about
said that, I wouldn't want her there either, but you have to accept that it will be a big source of controversy in his family. Comment two, girl, you're only 22, not even engaged. This is currently a non-issue. When the time does come and you actually start planning your wedding after getting engaged, remember that this is his wedding too. If he wants his sister there, she's going to be there. In 4 years of being together and her not liking you, you have just stayed away from her, or have you made attempts to befriend her, or even sat her down yourself and asked her why she does not like you? I will say not the a-hole, but only because it's not even a real situation because you're not engaged. But based on the fact that you're coming to Reddit to ask if you're an a-hole over a situation that you have essentially made up, I agree with whomever has told you you're dramatic. Hell, maybe Sarah doesn't like you because you're dramatic. And comment 3, not the a-hole. Talk to your fiance. They're not even engaged though, so it's not your fiance. Whether he's fully on board with not inviting his sister, this is one situation where I feel comfortable saying he's already showing support, so you can afford to give a little more leeway. Consider a compromise, like a family sit down, especially after your engagement. Yeah, if it's once you get engaged, then it's a thing.
Right.
Use this time to address your feelings and expectations and make sure that you and Hubs display a united front, and make sure Sis is there and may be subject to no invitation due to bad behavior. While you may not want to give her another chance, it might help foster peace for his sake. Set boundaries together on how much more he's willing to tolerate from her. Ideally, none, since he already recognizes her behavior is unacceptable. Your desire to protect your boundaries and avoid drama is completely valid. It's your wedding, and it's important that you and your fiance feel comfortable with the guest list. You're already showing great communication, and approaching this together as a team will strengthen your relationship even more. A sit down might not fix everything, but it could bring clarity or closure, whether she's invited or not. And there's a little update. So someone in the comments asked how my partners, we will call him Tom now, parents are with Sarah / my relationship with them. So Tom's parents are pretty nice people. They're divorced and with other partners now, but I would say I have a decent relationship with both of them. Me and Tom's dad had a really long conversation about life on Christmas. That kind of thing settled my doubts about him possibly not liking me, as he had a lot of really positive and very fatherly things to say that sort of stopped making me doubt. I struggle with feeling as though I'm not liked pretty often, so that's part of why I feel crazy when it comes to Sarah. And his mom and I have a good relationship as well. She's kind of offered in a way to fill in for my own mom, even though she doesn't know much of why my mom and I aren't on good terms. But Sarah has always been the prize child, so Tom has always come second in the house. It's kind of been his whole life where he's been been stuck in Sarah's world, is constantly been stuck in that shadow. The unfortunate part is I know Tom's mother has a strained relationship with Sarah because Sarah also just bullies her and Tom's father over the divorce and just random other things, and they kind of cater to make her feel better. When she's around, there's plans with her. Everyone's expected to, when she's around or there's plans with her, everyone's expected to drop whatever they are doing, no matter what, and make sure to see her. Tom's mom and dad kind of just let her to be a bully and take the hits, and unfortunately, that's not really something I can bring up with them, and I know it's not my place. So essentially, she's the only one who has a problem with me on his side of the family. Also, I'd like to address the comments that are kind of mean. I do understand that this is kind of a weird question to be asking, and I did try to be transparent at the beginning that I know that I'm not trying to create any drama out of it, and that's why I came here to ask. By the way, if you don't want to create any drama with us, you should be listening to our podcast all the time, 24/7, by looking up OK Storytime, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Right. And you don't want no drama with us?
No. There's another relevant update, and I'll get straight into it. Because both of us are actively talking about what we want from our wedding, and right now, as it sits with both of us, we are ready to marry the other. That's not to say it'll be next month that he pops the question, but regardless, when we do it, it isn't really what I was asking for advice on. As we sit both, we want to be married by 24. That's the timeline we have for each other. And I do understand that all of this is hypothetical and anything can happen, but we have both been through it in the last 4 years as a couple. We still both know we are each other's person. Please stop being rude. I know it's a silly thing to be questioning right now, but I wouldn't have asked if I didn't think it was worth asking. And that is where that story ends.
I mean, I guess it pays to be thorough, you know?
Yeah, and to be fair, it does seem like they're like at the point where, yes, he hasn't popped the question, but they're actively planning the wedding. So it's like
getting to that point.
It's getting to that point. But that is where that story ends.